There are 3 features on our next destination that I guarantee you are never going to find anywhere on the same hike. We climb a peak called Gizmo. We'll pass this local art project. And we'll stand in the same spot where soldiers once had the responsibility of deciding whether or not to launch a nuclear missile. The hike begins at the Marvin Braude Mulholland Gateway Park. Directions to the trailhead are in the description. And halfway into the hike, we'll reach what was known as the Nike Missile Control Site LA-96C, a 60-year-old relic from the Cold War, and a reminder of how fortunate we are that Southern California wasn't bombed into oblivion by the Soviet Union. At the top of the parking lot, continue past this gate and climb this sometimes steep dirt road for a quarter mile. When you hit what's known as Dirt Mulholland at the top, turn left and descend to a broad saddle. We then go over a small hump to another saddle. Look for these steps and a trail marker on the right. Up and over you'll go and veer to the left on a decent trail that traverses the slopes of Gizmo Peak. The climb temporarily ends at this semi-level spot where the Farmer Ridge Trail goes to the right. We head left, where in a minute or two we'll come to this somewhat beautified car wreck. No idea how it got here. There used to be a road above us, but it's long gone. We've been here for years, and we have never heard the story behind that wrecked car there. Do you know anything about that?
It's just a piece of junk someone threw down there years ago.
Okay, that's as interesting as it gets, huh?
It's been there for 40 years.
40 years?
Oh, at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
Leave this landmark of sorts for a short distance. Ooh, that's steep. The trail makes a drastic change in course, going up this rugged, eroded section that's thankfully short, but it will get your heart pumping. This brings us to a ridge with views to the San Fernando Valley and the Los Angeles Basin. Continue to the right. Now you're going to notice along here that the trail splits in two in several places, but as you can see, they all come back together again. The trail passes just below the summit of 1,970 feet, Gizmo Peak. You can scramble to the top if you like for more vistas. The trail drops back to Dirt Mulholland, where we turn right and continue to the Nike Missile Control Site. Turn turn right at the guard shack that's been unoccupied for more than 50 years. And you'll come to what's officially known as San Vicente Mountain Park. Even if you aren't interested in the history behind this place, it's a pleasant stop with a bathroom, water dish for dogs, and picnic tables. Consider this a definition for lunacy. Between 1946 and 1991, the United States and the former Soviet Union held off going to war against each other, not because they had better things to do with their resources, but because of a concept known as mutual assured destruction. In other words, you nuke us, and we'll nuke you back 10 times harder. And to enforce that kind of madness, known as the Cold War, we have this Nike Missile Control Site LA-96C, which was built in 1956 to watch for Soviet bombers headed this way to presumably destroy Los Angeles. The Army personnel here had the authority to launch a counterattack. That is, they were connected to a supply of Nike Ajax and Hercules missiles squirreled away in silos down in the Sepulveda Basin, along Victory Boulevard, as a matter of fact. Now, I'm not sure if there was any irony intended in that. Now, the Army abandoned the site in 1968 when intercontinental ballistic missiles made eyeballing the skies for enemy aircraft obsolete. Just to let you know, there is a short 2-mile round-trip alternative to here, and directions are in the description. As for us, we return to the road and stick to it until we reach this junction that takes us down to the parking lot. So, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Just to let you know, I post one hike each week. And in the meantime, don't get lost.